Welcome, everybody, to the JJ and Pug Show. This is March 5th, 2025. It's part one of the podcast. March. Dude, it is March. This is my anniversary month, dude. 15 days from now. Man. It's crazy. It is. So, on Monday, my son was 5 weeks old. One more week, baby.
How much? That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
One more week.
The infamous 6-week mark.
Yes. But it's insane how fast his year is going. And this is such an old person thing to say. Why is it that time goes by faster when you're old?
I don't know. And especially when you have a newborn, all of a sudden, because you're wrapped up so much in just dealing with your family. You don't even leave the house. You live like a hobbit for a while, but all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's 3 months old today.
Dude,
what?
I got to tell you, I am so glad that we have such an angel. I have such an angel mother-in-law that I do. I haven't gone grocery shopping, which that's the thing I do in the family. Yeah. I do the grocery shopping and I wash the dishes. That's how.
Oh, dishes. The kids are old enough, bro. Start making them.
What's easy is the fact that my kids are young enough to where I don't have a million dishes. So it's like I can put them all in the dishwasher each night and we're good. But dude, she had to do the grocery shopping for us for a little bit because I've gone to the store. Yeah. It's just it's funny. When I say this, it's going to sound super dramatic. Please know that I'm not being dramatic. I'm just trying to say it the best way I can. It's survival mode.
No, but it is. It
is.
Especially when you've got older kids that are little beings that aren't also babies. They are chaotic all the time. And you've got to deal with that aspect. And then you have the little one who's sleeping, eating, or pooping. Really, you know what I'm saying? That's really what they do.
And when he's crying and you can't figure out whether it's the sleep, the poop, or the food, you're like, what's wrong?
Just leave him. I'm done. He's fed. He's got a dry diaper. He's good.
So Shale's back to coaching volleyball, right? So last night she was at volleyball practice. And I told her after I got all the rest of the kids to sleep.
Hasn't been 6 weeks. If you're good enough to coach.
Dude. I'll let you tell her that.
You're going to play volleyball, Shale? I think it's time.
Well, she doesn't play. So
allegedly.
I mean, knowing her, I have a hard time believing she's able to stay on the sidelines.
I watched her play spike ball with twins in her belly on the beach.
And you saw me trying to tell her to stop.
Yeah, I don't know. I think she's playing.
Like I said, it's hard to believe that she's not.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I got the kids asleep. I got him fed, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to lay him down in the crib so I can take a shower. So I'm taking a crap, sitting on the toilet, and I started to hear him cry. He's starting to fidget. He's getting really, really, really fussy. He starts screaming. And in my mind, I'm like, there's literally nothing I can do right now. I am not going to stop sitting on the toilet. I'm not going to squeeze this back up in to go check him.
No, I've got to release.
So I didn't. And by the time I got out, I went over there. He was silent. He'd been silent for 5 seconds. And I go in there. He's cried himself asleep. I'm like, good.
That's the way. Great parenting advice right there. Let them cry. It's okay.
Especially at this age, when you've done everything, when you have fed them, you have changed their diaper, you've burped them. If they're crying, there literally is nothing else you can do. No. You pick them up.
Eventually, they'll just stop crying, and when they want you don't come, they're just going to hang out, and they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Obviously, there's a caveat here. If it's a constant thing where they are constantly crying,
there's a certain type of cry. It's different.
There is a problem.
If they're crying, not whining, whining, they're just whining because they want to be picked up, or they're really okay, but they're just used to being swaddled. Right? Yeah. I think that's the word people use with infants. I need to swaddle my infant. Remember how you wrap them up in the blanket?
Oh yeah, turn them into a burrito. Yeah, that's 100% what it is. We call him a little burrito. Yeah. He's got these little taco pajamas. I wish they were burrito pajamas. It'd be so much better. Anyway, this is your song.
Oh, yes.
And, I looked at the lyrics because it's funny. Jason says, hey, this is my song. And guess what? It's clean. Yeah. I didn't even have to check the lyrics. I did it anyway. Because I know for me, when I say something's clean and I don't really hear what actually is being said, famously, this is what I remember. Oh, by the way, this is Tom McDonald, Fake Woke. And it actually is
fire.
It's preaching. I'm going to tell you this right now. There was, between the two of us, I'm a flaming liberal, right? Between the two of us, if you were to say that.
You're definitely more left than I am, for sure.
And I'm listening to this and I'm saying, I don't know what I'm disagree with. I don't know what I disagree with.
You can't, because you're like, I think my brother sent this to me because he's a big fan of this Tom McDonald guy. He has some other good songs, and a lot of them
don't look at his picture because you will look at this guy and say, "What the crap?"
I don't want to listen to him. Yeah, you're going to judge the book by the cover immediately.
I did.
Yeah, and
but I was wrong.
He spits some real truth in these. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
and it's one of those songs that just, I don't know, just hits.
It does. It's got, like I said, really what it is the fact that the lyrics are poignant. They are very,
for sure.
And it's not one of those rap songs that's hard to understand what they're saying because he doesn't speak so fast that you can't understand what he's saying. But Anyway, like I said, look up the lyrics if you want to get an idea of what it's all about.
And he's not like screaming, screw you liberals. He's just saying what's going on in the country.
It is 100%.
And what the problem is, like, we're idolizing Cardi B. That is a problem. I mean, look at what we're doing.
Remember when we talked about how they were trying to cancel the song Baby It's Cold Outside in Christmas time? Where it's like, listen, this song was written in the 40s. There's nothing that was written in the 40s that's controversial. I promise you that. Yep. And we're saying that song needed to be canceled, yet WAP was a number one hit. On there, and we were fine with that being on the radio. Come on.
Yeah, we're not. And that's the problem. That's what he's saying in this. Everything is just so backwards right now.
Listen, if you want to listen to Cardi B, I ain't gonna stop you. Do your thing.
Have fun.
Yeah, whatever. Same thing. If you want to listen to Tom McDonald, you want to listen to Eminem, whatever. Oh, and the Eminem line he has in here? Amazing. Amazing.
Told you, bro.
I was just like, how's that feel, Marshall Mathers? I mean, for real, you got to look yourself in the mirror right now. Everybody loves your music.
Yep.
But let's not pretend like you are this holier than thou guy.
Yeah.
Anyway. And again, this is coming from the guy who I freaking hate Donald Trump. I hate him. But everything this guy's saying is pretty accurate, at least in my opinion.
It's hard to say. Dude, okay, so like, let me ask you this, because you are more left than I am, and I don't dabble enough in politics to say go Donald Trump, but I'm also like, I kind of like what I hear sometimes, because I'm just like, finally someone, at least on the surface level, is putting the country first, right? I know that there's hidden agendas. We can argue that all day long. But on the surface level, it's like, did you see this, the Zelenskyy?
Oh, dude. Okay. You want to get me started on this?
No, the thing is, I want to just know your thoughts on, I thought that, believe it or not, Trump and Vance handled that really well, because they didn't. When you find out that he calls Vance the B word in his language, right, and that's been confirmed under his breath, you don't come into another country. You're asking for. We've given you billions of dollars of our money, and you're gonna call the vice president a bitch. Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, that's just disrespect. And then, the whole, like, oh, he showed up. Yeah, sorry, I know you're going to have to bleep that out.
That's okay, man. Yeah.
But it's just like,
I'm used to it.
I watched that whole thing, and I'm like, dude, it's just, he sits there with his smug look on his face like we owe him the money. And we don't. Dude, that's our money. We've given you more money than we should have even. I don't even think we should be involved sometimes, but I know why we do. I understand that smaller countries need backing, and Russia's a problem. And, and you could say it's political chess, and there's the argument that Trump's just more for Russia. And maybe he's not, right? I read a whole thing, and I should send it to you just to see your take on it, because it's a breakdown of the conversation. But he talks about how, like, Trump is not pro-Russia. He's just pro-not war right now. He doesn't want World War III. And sometimes you have the devil you know, but the devil you don't. And it just breaks down, like, maybe he's playing political chess that we on the surface may not understand, but he's trying to prevent World War III, I hope, right? That's the hope of it.
And that's what he said.
Right, and that's what until World War III happens, like, he's doing what he can, right? Until we prove him wrong, or until somebody proves him wrong. But what was your take on that whole exchange?
So a couple of the points you wanted to make, I wanted to point out. But I start at the end there, just because that's what I remembered last. When we say he's trying to prevent World War III, okay, he is fully on board with destroying Gaza and all the Palestinians in it. He backs Israel to the nth degree. And I don't think in my lifetime I've ever witnessed a greater example of what a genocide looks like than what Israel did to Gaza. I am not saying I'm anti-Israel. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah. Don't tell me an anti-Semite. That's what I'm not. What I am. But it is mind-boggling to me that the Jewish people, the victims of the Holocaust, had no problem at all decimating Gaza, absolutely destroying it. There's nothing left. What does Trump say? We are going to take Gaza, and we are going to fix it, and it is going to be ours.
Right.
That doesn't sound like a guy who's really about all anti-war. That's about a guy who literally just saying, what's in it for us? That's good for us. We're going to take it. This is also the same guy that came in and said, how about Canada be the 51st state? I think that was really more tongue-in-cheek. I don't think he meant that. He's serious about Greenland, and he's serious about Panama Canal.
And is he serious about the Gulf of America? Because I love it.
Yeah. You know what? But honestly, he's got a real point on that. Yeah. I don't really care. That's one of those things where, like, listen, we can all, like, that's fine. Call it what you want. I really don't care about that one.
It doesn't change anything.
It doesn't change anything other than the pride of the guy that said it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is where I look and say, we can say all we want that this guy's about ending a war. What he really is about what is best for him. That's truly what I believe. And here's a couple of reasons why. What's best for him is having a good relationship with Vladimir Putin, who he loves. And he's been on record as liking this guy for a long time. Long before he became the president, or even running in 2016, a candidate for president. So I look at that and say, that's really about him trying to get what he can for his guy. And some people out there will say he owes more than money to Putin. I don't know about that. I'm not going to go down that road.
On what context? Like, what do you mean?
Like favors.
Business stuff or like...
Yes.
Okay. All right. And we don't have to go down. I'm
not going to go down the road. So anyway, all I'm saying is that is out there. That's floating in the atmosphere. The truth is he is very much a pro-Putin guy. Look at how he talks about him. And this is about a guy who I gave you on the whole rundown of what he has done. So
do you think a lot of that could be...
Don't call it 3D chess. It's not.
No, but what if it's like just... You have to play to like you can't go on... You could not go on TV right now and smash Putin, especially for Donald Trump, and think that Putin's just going to sit back and do nothing, right?
But that's my point, Jason. He is sucking up to the guy because he's afraid of him.
I don't think he's afraid of him.
No, he has to be.
No.
Okay, if he wasn't, he wouldn't treat him the way he does. He would literally go in there and say that I am the big man here. This is my world.
Because Putin's crazy enough to stick to shoot the nuclear war. Like he is.
Nobody is.
I don't know, dude. If you were going to put two people on it, he's one of them.
No. The one is the guy that sits in North Korea.
Yeah, but and Putin would be the other.
I don't think Putin is.
I don't know,
As much as I think Putin is a psychopath, he's not that psycho.
Dude, he wants the Soviet Union back so bad.
I know. I literally laid that case out last week. I am with you.
Your point was well taken. So I get it.
I firmly believe that he does. He wants it back. But I don't think anybody is really that nuts, because the minute you hit send on that nuclear war, the world comes to an end, because everybody else is going to do the same thing. And that's why I don't. And if you were to look at how many close calls we had in the Cold War of nuclear war, and the amount of people that just said, "I can't do it," like it was not a one-time thing. There were multiple instances in which we were like seconds away from somebody hitting send on that nuke because they had a malfunction with the radar. And even with that malfunction on the radar, they saw it coming and said, "I can't do it," and they didn't do it. And because they didn't do it, no war was started and no nukes were sent because the radar was a malfunction. But anyway, the point is, I don't think he is. I don't think he's that crazy. But what he should be is to say that we owe you. I mean, we own you. We are the biggest superpower. We are the world imminent power. And going back to the Zelenskyy thing, maybe he did come in with the wrong attitude. I had seen reports that he met with like 20 Democrats before going in. So he may have been given some really poor advice as to how to enter the White House and how to talk about it. The way that JD Vance and Donald Trump came at him, they are coming at it from a position of kids. Like they are bullies. Specifically Trump, and the way Vance came in as a total lapdog. You respect the president. Listen, I get it. He should respect the president because he is coming in with his, literal country's existence in the balance. But also take into consideration this. The Ukraine wouldn't be in this position if it weren't for the United States, both positively and negatively. Negative side, if we had never convinced Ukraine to give back the nuclear weapons to Russia at the fall of the Soviet Union, nobody's attacking Ukraine. That's not happening. But they listened to us, the United States, in the 90s, and they did so. And since they've done that, they have been in constant turmoil. The other problem is we are always interfering in other national elections and crap, and one of which was at the end of I can't remember the Zukov, I think is his name, the previous president before Zelenskyy. We got in there and made things really, really, really dirty. And we kind of jostled the country because Ukraine is famously corrupt. Okay? Some of that's because they have such a destabilized nation and trying to come out of the Soviet Union. Now we're trying to establish our own democracy, or whatever they want to call it. Famously corrupt. Also, because the Soviet Union was famously corrupt, a lot of those people that took over power in Ukraine were former Soviet Union.
Right.
Okay. Third, if they had come to the table in 2022 when Russia first started the initial special military action, the option that they had on the table for peace was super good considering the situation Ukraine was in. And the United States and the UK came in and said, "Don't you dare, you fight." Ukraine wouldn't be in any of this mess if it weren't for us, both positive and negatively. We kept giving them weapons. They kept using them, but we gave them weapons with limitations. You can't use them for this and for this. Anytime that you put limitations on the way you're going to fight a war, guess what's going to happen? That war is not going to. Yeah, it's not going to work. Yeah. Look, check out Vietnam. The way that we fought in Vietnam, we constantly put handcuffs on our. And I'm not saying that that's all negative. Like, yeah, we shouldn't go and kill women and children, even though we did. But at the same time, like, listen, if you're going to fight the Viet Cong and do it. Go into North Korea. In North Vietnam. Fight them. Don't constantly say these are the rules of engagement. We can't fully embrace the war. We can't fully attack. Like, that's what we did to Ukraine when it came to Russia. You're not allowed to go into Russian territory and fight. Why? They came into Ukrainian territory. Why can't we go into Russia?
Yeah.
Finally, they do. And now they actually have some bargaining power because they own a little bit of Russia, while Russia owns a lot more of the territory in Ukraine. All I'm saying is, I'm not defending Zelenskyy 100% because I think he clearly got bad advice, and that doesn't absolve a world leader from looking at the position himself and knowing what a hothead Trump is, and knowing that if he was going to do anything that made Trump look bad on national television, Trump wasn't going to have it. Right? He wasn't going to have it. Zelenskyy did. He put himself in a position to make Trump look bad on national TV. And he had his lapdog right there. He had his pit bull, JD Vance, ready to pounce.
It was brutal.
So my whole thing is, the whole thing was terrible, but I thought it was disgusting because we kept talking down to this guy who's literally been fighting for his country's existence for 3 years.
Yeah, but when he comes in and says he threatens the U.S. is what he does, right? He does it indirectly.
How did he threaten?
He threatens and says that we're going to the oceans that separate us are not going to protect us from feeling the pain of the war.
Yeah, it's because of Russia.
But still, that's
not because of them.
You're still threatening the U.S. in a sense like that, right? Like, you got to take it. So, like, you absolutely can take it that way.
I don't think
you're not going to tell me that we're going to feel it. You're telling me we're going to feel it. Like, I just think. Yes, it could have been handled better.
The one thing you have to remember is Alaska's like 2 feet from Russia.
It's actually a little bit farther than that, but I know what you mean. You know what's funny is I just saw a thing, total sidebar, and I saw that there's an island.
The 2 islands? Yeah, yesterday and today and tomorrow.
12 hours ahead or 15 hours behind.
18 hours behind, and they're like separated like 6 miles. Like,
you can literally look at tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Or yesterday. For
Squirrel.
Yeah, but that's the point. That's how close we really are to Russia. And when he's saying that we like the ocean won't separate us from the pain. Listen, if World War III happens and it truly is the United States versus Russia, the ocean's not going to separate us from the pain.
I guess you just don't come into somebody's house and disrespect them like that. Like, and say, like, it just, the media should have never been there, right? I mean, there's just no reason for that. That is a conversation that they can have behind closed doors. And the thing is, if I'm a country where literally my existence right now may have been solely because of, or the war may have been because the U.S. intervened or whatever, but my sole existence of still being here is because the U.S. has given me everything. Like, all the money, all the weapons, everything we have right now, and thousands of people are still dying a week.
Yep.
But yet we've given billions of dollars to them, billions of our money, our taxpayer money, and you're going to come in and just think you're going to crap on my front door? Like, hold on. But I don't know. I'm okay with the flex because I don't like the disrespect.
But that's where I disagree. I don't think
that's fine.
That's where I don't think he was disrespecting as much as Republicans are taking as disrespect. I look at it from a guy who's literally, his back is in a corner and has been for 3 years fighting Russia.
If Putin comes in and says that stuff to Biden the exact same way, the Democrats go crazy and say that he was disrespected by Putin.
Guess what's also going to happen? Never going to happen. Putin's never coming to the United States.
I know.
He's not going to do it. Also, Biden's not going to be there for it. The guy's he's been off in La La Land forever.
I'm using an analogy.
I know you're using an analogy. Let's also recognize this from the Zelenskyy perspective. For 3 years, he's gotten everything he needed from the previous administration, and that flipped in 2 months. Yeah. And again, now his country is literally on the brink. Well, that's why he campaigned for Kamala Harris.
Yeah, because he knew if Kamala Harris wins, he's going to continue to get the support. It is bad when they throw that crap in there, right? In this meeting, they talk about how he campaigned for the opposite. But at the same time, I think that it's just like, at some point, we got to stop being a handout to these other countries.
I was talking to a guy who is not a campaign manager, but like a staff office manager for a congressman in the United States. And I asked him his perspective because he truly knows things. Like, he is. And I asked, and his whole thing was, listen, I'm a Republican. I think that Zelenskyy shouldn't have come in and done what he did. But I kind of also think that we shouldn't have been in this position to begin with because this is Europe's war. That is the argument I will agree with, because we shouldn't be as involved in Ukraine or Gaza for that matter, or Israel for that matter, as we are. We should not be as involved. If we are going to be involved in anything internationally, it is USAID only from the perspective of providing aid to third world countries, not subverting their political process, what USAID got caught doing a lot of times. So
you can't even say that without my blood boiling, just that acronym.
But we shouldn't be. Listen, can we provide HIV prevention spread in South Africa? Absolutely. Which we were doing. Can we provide the help of Ebola outbreak? Yeah, we should be totally doing that.
Should we be funding transgender sexual reassignment surgery
Absolutely
to
not.
Exactly.
Should we be also trying to, again, pay off people to subvert political and democratic process in third world countries? No, we shouldn't be doing that. So that's where the positive negative comes. But what we shouldn't be doing, we shouldn't be involved in all of these listen, I say shouldn't. I am in favor of being somebody that helps the small guy. I really am. But if we really are going to be America first, then America first should be, all right, Ukraine, we're out. We're not looking for the mineral rights deal.
No, and we're not giving you money to fund your war. We're not going to give you weapons. It's all on you.
Israel, we're out. Yeah, we're not going to be a part of this war anymore.
I would agree with you. That's something where
that's not going to happen.
I know.
And that's
it'll never happen.
But that's the point I make about the saying that Trump's anti-war. He's not when it comes to Israel. He is when it comes to Ukraine. Why is it when it comes to Ukraine? Do you not recall?
The mineral deal?
Not just the mineral deal, but do you remember what happened prior to Donald Trump getting elected? Remember when he was looking for...
In 2016?
When he was looking for dirt on Hillary Clinton and he was trying to get it out of Ukraine? That was a part of the whole Russiagate thing. Like, he's already got a bad history with Ukraine.
Yeah.
So I look at it and say that there's too many things in this that I can't separate as to say that it's fully... he really does want anti-war. I just don't. And again, the whole thing where he says that Zelensky's gambling with World War III. I'm like, bro, don't put this on. This guy can't start a war. They have no military. If we pull funding, war's over.
We should pull funding. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
I know why we don't. I don't. Well, I'm not going to say I understand why. I know why. It's just because that country will fall. Like it'll just be gone. Russia will own it. Yeah. It'll now become just Russia. The state, the country line will just go a little lower.
Yep.
That's all it is.
That's what will happen. And that's the reason why we're involved. And that's the reason why I supported being involved. But there's so many parts of it that are icky because we were so involved. And again, listen, I say this is Europe's war. The European Union should be the ones that are 100% backing Ukraine. They should be. It shouldn't be United States, even though we've been the world's backer since World War II.
That's all we do.
Yeah, but
swoop in and fix everybody else's problem.
But the problem is we're really bad at it. We're really bad at it.
No, what we do is we throw money at it. We take our money and just throw it at it. Say, here's billions of dollars. Figure it out. If you can't, come back and guess for more. We'll give you more pallets of money.
Well, I was going to say, what happened in Korea? Split to two nations, North and South Korea. North Korea is one of the most, harsh dictatorships in the world. If we had just said we're going to fight this war like a real war, probably wouldn't have happened. Problem with that was we had the Cold War going on because North Korea was backed by Russia. Where's Russia been this entire? Russia's been a problem since post World War II.
Yeah,
they've been a problem, and the same thing happened in Vietnam. Why were we in Vietnam? The spread of communism. But because we were limited in the way that we would allow people to fight in that war, it became a stalemate to the point where it eventually became a complete loss.
Oh, dude, I just was looking how much money we've given to Ukraine.
But that number's also false. And the numbers, what was I going to say, like 350 billion, something like that?
300 to 350 billion.
Yeah. So the reason why I say the number's false is because we also, we decide what certain things are worth. And sometimes we overvalue our own product when we send it out. And a lot of that stuff actually hasn't even left United States shores. It's still in DC.
So is it fair to say if we did half, so even $150 billion?
Still a ton of money.
Still is out of control.
And imagine what
how many people are there in a million? How many millions of people are there in America?
There is
360 million.
I think it's almost 400 million.
Okay.
Isn't that right?
You could have given everybody $1 million and still save money.
And then we would have ridiculous inflation.
Yeah.
But really, what I was saying, what about those people in California and North Carolina, and now West Virginia and Kentucky?
What pisses me
that
off.
$150 billion could do a whole lot to repair those places.
You could have gave those like that. All the insurances that have backed out, and these people are screwed now because they don't have. Like I think this is going on in the White Mountains where they don't have people. Like it's hard to get homeowners insurance because of wildfire.
Oh yeah, and it's going to get worse because this has been a record dry winter for us.
It's out of control, and you're like, how are you supposed to insure your home? But then it goes up in flames, and you got nothing.
Yeah,
and the government's like, hey, on Joe Biden will give you $700. The administration at the time, well, whoever it was, $700. But you're sending $150 billion to fight a war that we don't even have no stake in it, really. I mean, yeah, we're just here to help you.
The only stake we have in it is to stop. Well, really, just to continue to hold a little bit of political pressure over Ukraine. That's what we have.
You could have gave everybody that lost a home $500,000 and been here. This is for a home.
Replace their home.
Just buy their home.
Just whatever the cost of the home replacement is.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be $500,000 because some people are living in an $80,000 mobile home.
Yeah, just get them their home.
We'll replace your home.
Yeah, no, $700. Go to Texas Roadhouse on us. That's about it. That's about it, dude.
Yeah, for a month.
Yeah, if that.
I mean, but the other problem is, like, say, we're talking about North Carolina, which we know about, and we're also talking about California, which we know about. Did you know that West Virginia and Kentucky are also experiencing record flooding?
No.
Yeah. Haven't heard about it because guess what? The White House will not declare a national state of emergency for people that have lost everything. People have died in West Virginia and Kentucky. 2 places that 100% backed Donald Trump, but he's not doing it because if they do that, then they have to commit federal dollars to fix the problem, which he's not going to do. It's such a stupid double standard to me that drives me nuts. It really does. Because if we're all about America, if that's what America first is, if we're making America great again, how about we focus on America?
Well, especially when we need it.
Yes, and when they need it.
They're not asking for a free handout. They're not the homeless people that can go get jobs that are just asking for free money like in California. These people are like losing their stuff because of weather, things out of their control.
Completely out of their control. And one of the things that they did was, I think one of these floods was like the flood water, like the 100 water level, the floods are 3 feet over that. So like this is historic flooding that's never been recorded. And that's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Oh, and right now, do you know there's also wildfires going over on the East Coast? No. Like hundreds of wildfires? Are you kidding me? This place just got wrecked by a freaking hurricane. How is it dry enough to have wildfires? Bro.
Mother Nature, bro.
And here we are again in Arizona. This is the driest winter on record.
It is brutal, man.
It's so terrible.
We're supposed to get rain Friday, and like I was like, hey, let's go golf Friday. He's like, well, it's supposed to get rain. I was like, bro,
let's go golf on Friday.
He goes, but as soon as we get a tee time, it's gonna rain. And I'm like, you're probably right, because if I wash my truck, it's gonna rain just enough.
Do it for the state.
That's what I'm saying.
Do it for the state,
I'll go out and golf in the rain, dude. I think it'd be awesome. I saw Caddyshack. They did it, lightning and everything.
Also, let's be real. It's not gonna be that much rain.
Yeah,
because every rainstorm we've had has been the most disappointing rainstorm ever.
Dude, I went golfing a few weeks ago. I don't know, up at Stone Creek, up in North Phoenix, and this cloud's coming in. You're like, oh, dude, this could get bad. And then it skirts around and it kind of dissipates and it comes back like, oh, it's back. We dodged it, but now it's back. It sprinkled for like 7 seconds, dude. And it was like all of a sudden just disappeared. And they were dark clouds. I'm like, what is going on?
Dude, so disappointing.
And yet, why do people want to move here? I don't understand why people want to move here.
Well, I'll tell you what, up until this winter, I would have said because we have very moderate weather, but
like
it's gonna be so bad.
Constantly, it's gonna be so. This summer is going to be terrible.
Dude,
Rodeo Cheddar-Sky 2.0.
Oh my gosh, dude, it's gonna be so awful. And I'm thinking like my dad does a dad, sons, and grandsons camp out kind of at the end of school year every year, but since school now goes into June, freaking ridiculous. It's more like the week before Memorial Day weekend.
Bro, it's coming up. I forgot. Like, dude, we got to go
spring break.
The Jug.
Oh, yeah.
We need to go to the Jug with Carl.
Dude, oh, my gosh, man.
My girls won't go again.
They want to or they won't?
No,
why not?
You didn't hear what happened last time?
No.
Bro, Carl had to throw Lexi off the ledge.
I didn't know that. Bro. She wouldn't do it?
Listen, Allie, the whole time, I didn't tell them it had to be a jump when we got there, right? Because then they wouldn't go. So I waited till we got there. And we're walking, like, oh, yeah, no, you're going to have to jump off a ledge. They're like, what? And Allie, she is not a fan of heights, okay?
I'm not
that's
either.
A fear. That's a real fear.
Yeah.
And we get to that spot where you got to go up there. And so Carl and I go up there and we're kind of there just to help people. And coincidentally, we had found 2 girls who were from Tucson that were just sitting on a rock ways back because they had no idea where to go.
They didn't know what to do.
Like, you people are this is what people die because you come up here with no plan, no nothing. They just waited till they found somebody. And we just happened to be coming through. So they followed us the whole rest of the way. So anyways, we get to this point and Allie's like, Dad, I want to go first. And I'm like, what? And she goes, I don't want to watch anybody struggle. I just want to go. So she got up there. She took like a few seconds. It took up maybe 5 minutes and she just jumped and went for it. Good to go. Done.
Way to
Lexi
go, Allie.
Talked crap the entire time, making fun of Allie because she's scared of heights. You put her up on that ledge, bro. She was terrified. Like she would not go. She didn't like, because you know how like you can't look down.
Oh yeah.
You have to kind of jump out and just go.
Jump out to do it.
There's plenty of water, but you just can't see it. All you see is that little beach. And dude, she would not do it. And so Carl finally being, nimble enough to go all the way out. He's holding on to the rope.
I can't believe
hanging
Carl's
on the edge.
Freaking nut job.
And he's like, okay, 1, 2. And he just he literally takes her and just kind of throws her out by her arm, drops her in the water, dude. And that poor, as a dad, my dad heart hurt because I knew she wasn't kidding. She was genuinely scared.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like, there is no other way. Like we can't go backwards.
Yeah. So it's funny. The very first time I ever went on this hike, I went by myself with my nephew, brother, and somebody else. I can't remember. Oh, my sister and I can't remember who I went with. Anyway, the point is we got to that point and I didn't know what to do because there was nobody on the trail with us. Nobody gave me a heads up how I was supposed to go. And I was like, all right, guys, I guess we are turn back and try and find our way out of here. And we did, but it was freaking hard climbing back out of there, dude.
Yeah.
But the next time I went with somebody that knew what to do, getting to that ledge, I was like, ooh, all right.
And it's not even that high, right? It's only like 15 feet.
That's the thing, is it can't be that high.
Yeah.
15 at the most, right?
Yeah, at the most.
But it feels like it's so high up because you do have that ledge you're hanging out off of, hoping that the person that put this rope in the rock really did a good job.
Yeah, and I watched Nua get up there and I'm like, okay, Nua can hold it. It holds Nua, I'll be fine.
That's really the thing. I'm like, dude, if that rope gives, we're all dead.
Well, and then so these people rappel down right next to us because they brought their gear, and I'm like, no. And Lexi's like, I don't know what to do. And she's just, she had to be thrown. Like literally, Carl was like 1, 2, and he took her on 2, bro, and just tossed her out there.
If you asked her now, would she go?
No.
They wouldn't. Now that they've done it,
they won't do it. Like Allie or Ava, she's down. Her and Coco cannot wait to go, but they also jump and run off the Carl's roof into the pool.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, like they don't care.
That pool is not deep enough for me.
Dude,
to do
they
that.
don't care. So I'm like, I ain't worried about them. The hardest part for them is going to be just getting them to the edge of the ledge without them slipping or something else, right? Holding on to make sure they get there. But I'm not worried about them jumping at all. But Carl and I bought these portable breath tanks that are like 10 minutes max. Oh. So we're going to bring them with us because we want to dive right there because I lost a necklace piece down there.
So much crap that's got to be lost down there.
And it's just piled up and it's deep enough where you can't just swim down and find it and come back up.
Almost every time I've gone, I've lost a pair of sunglasses.
Nope.
They always fall off my head when I do that jump. It's sometimes I've been able to catch them. Most of the time I can't catch them. They're gone.
No.
And then walking out with a freaking
We got to go do that, dude. We got to go. Dude, that was fun. That was actually not bad. I thought we'd get like soggy shoes and the walk up, but it was hot enough because we went and it was Memorial Day weekend we went. Yeah. It was like the last weekend you can really go.
Because in the water, but dude, I don't know if we're going to have any water for it.
I know. It's a good point. I
was just thinking about that because usually you do want to do it with their snow runoff, but we haven't had anything.
We had nothing. It's just terrible.
I know one time I went in April. It's usually when I would go is in April when the water is cold. Yeah. Super cold, but outside it's a little warm. And then one time I went in June where there was no runoff anymore. The water was just stagnant. Dude, I was slipping and falling on the rocks like crazy because it was just covered in moss. Because there was no flowing water. It was just standing water. It was awful. Don't do that. I don't know. I don't know how to find out whether it's got running water or not, but don't do it. So I'm 2.5 days into this program you got me on.
Yes.
And my legs bounce right now because, dude, I got to pee again. This is like, I got to pee all the time. I'm on, I don't know, this has got to be like pee break number 7 to me today.
Yeah, and it's not going to get any better.
But hey, one thing as I will say, right now, I'm thirsty. Like I want to drink right now because even though I got to pee, but I'm sticking to it, dude. A gallon and a half of water a day. It's not as hard as it sounds.
It's just, you got to, as long as you drink often, just kind of sipping on some water and you have I bought a jug that had it was a gallon and it had times of the day when I first started. So every 2 hours, there was like a new mark. Yeah. And you just try to get there, you start at 7 a.m, by, at 9 o'clock at night, you're no problem, you're done or whatever. But now, dude, I'll look at that gallon. I'm like, oh, dude, it's 5 p.m. and I haven't really drank it. I will clean a gallon of water by 9. Yeah. Like, no problem.
Yeah. And you're up all night.
Yeah, I had to pee. But
so I got 2 of these and they're half gallons. Mm-hmm. So I get one done before lunch, come in, fill it back up, switch the cap to the next one, which is this one. And I have this one done before dinner. And then it's like, okay, got to get this next one in.
Whatever you do after that. And you're drinking, other stuff throughout the day.
Yeah. Which I haven't been counting. I'm just I get 3 of these and anything else is just like on top of.
Your body's going to feel so much better, dude. It's I'm telling you, your skin is going to be better. Like hydration's so key, especially in this dry state that we live in.
So dry. I'll say this, I'm already down like 3 pounds.
I'm telling you, but it'd be water, right? So you got to understand it's fluctuates. That's why weighing yourself every day is gonna. I know you like to do it.
I do like to do
it, but when you're weighing on Friday, maybe less or more, and you're gonna be mad because you're like, how does it work? That's why I just stay away from it, bro.
See, that doesn't discourage me like you think it would, because I do weigh every day.
Yeah,
because I do weigh, and I've been doing it for a long time.
You understand?
Yeah, and it doesn't discourage me when I see a day going up, because it's just like, okay. Next day will be less. Yeah. Like it's not going to be. It doesn't.
Well, because water intake, especially some days, you'll retain a little bit more water, or you wouldn't have enough salt, so that you're holding on a little bit more water, something like that, right? But it fluctuates. That's why they tell you after you pee and just make sure you get that one. I do it once a week, even now. Which I was up. I don't know. I was I think I was up 4 pounds in 2 weeks. And I was kind of pissed last week, and then I weighed myself on Friday and I dropped almost 6 pounds. I was like, this is great. I'm having a cheat meal for sure.
So, by the way, are you officially doing another show this year? You officially going to do
here's my problem. I need shoulder surgery. Okay, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The problem I'm having is I have a really big, busy summer. I possibly could be going to Alaska for a wedding that I had. Some of my
awesome.
My mom's best friends got a bunch of kids, and they're like cousins to me. We call them, they're family.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They're one of them's getting married in Homer, Alaska. And
dude, I have watched many specials that are in Homer, Alaska.
It's 4.5 hours from Anchorage and driving through the grizzly infested forest, right? But it's like they asked me to be an officiant for it to marry them.
You got to do it.
And I'm like, of course I got to figure out how to get there. But I'm like, I don't want to pack all my kids there. It's just expensive.
You got to do it.
So I know. I know that's
you got to take them all because it's Alaska, man. How many times are you gonna make your way up there?
But so that's my problem is if I do a show, I can't. Or if I do surgery in April, my extra overtime opportunities go into the tank because I can't work extra overtime if I have a shoulder messed up. So that puts a damper on that. But if I do a show, I don't want to be in a show prep trying to travel to Alaska for 4 or 5 days when dude, I've traveled to California for a weekend in a show prep and it is tough with a bag of food or an ice chest. Yeah. Flying somewhere like that. It's just, I don't know. So dude, I don't know if I'll take one. Allie graduates, by the way. She's not my problem anymore. So like, no, dude,
I only have got to do it for her, man. You got to take her, dude.
So I don't know. But so we have that. And then I pulled the trigger and bought my spouse Backstreet Boy tickets.
Oh, at the Sphere?
Yeah.
Dude, how come you didn't tell me?
I told Shalay and Kara, and they were both kind of like on the fence about it. And I'm like, look, I bought floor tickets, bro, for her.
I
general admission.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I got her 2 tickets. I'm like, I don't care who you take. It's not, you don't have to take me. Take somebody. Take the girl. Take one of the daughters. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care
just
who you
have
take.
Fun.
But that's your boy band. Like that's your band. You liked them over NSYNC. So you go, and when NSYNC sells tickets, I'm going. But I'm like, so she's got that coming up after. That's not even 2 weeks after we come back from if we go to Alaska or whoever goes to Alaska. I almost think I was just doing a guy. My brother's going with his fiance, but I'm like, I almost want to go by myself.
You gotta take your family to Alaska. And I'm saying as a guy who's never been,
it's gonna take me so much just to get there. If we fly super cheap, it's $2,500.
Listen,
that
dude,
is
cheap. I've got again, when you talk about like cousins, these are the people I grew up with right next door. And I would say across the street, but there were no streets. It was just grass because that's where I grew up, right? And their family, and they did really well later on in life, right? It's funny because you grow up with somebody a certain way and then suddenly like the whole thing freaking changes.
Yeah.
But they actually have a hunting fishing lodge in a place called Gustavus, Alaska. And I did a whole bunch of help for my buddy getting his home designed. And when he went to go pay for him, I'm like, dude, you're not going to pay me, man. Like, you're my brother type. He's okay. Well, how about this? You can stay at the resort or the hunting lodge for free. You just got to get yourself there. Dude, that was like 6 years ago. I know how difficult it is to get yourself there, right? It is. But at the same time, it's like, dude, if you're going, because I don't have something that says I have to go at this date. Like, if you're dude, you got to take them, man.
I know.
It's Alaska. Like, how many times are they going to have a chance to go? Unless you're taking like a cheap cruise.
But they're not my problem. You know,
dude, but they are. Like,
Allie's out, bro.
I love how you talk such a big game. I know you're not going to do that to him. Dude. You're not going to throw her to the street.
Well, it's either I go, the two of us go, or all of us go. Like, I know there's not going to be like only 3 of us going.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of trying to figure out what works. Like I said, there's part of me is like, I just want to go by myself because it's easy. Like I don't have to take care of anybody. I get my own car. Schedule. I just go. I can leave when I want. Because looking at the flights and stuff back for the cheapest ways to do it, right? We'd have to be back in Anchorage basically the night before because our flight would leave at like 5 a.m. Mm-hmm. So I can't drive 4.5 hours, drop a rental car off, get on and be at the airport, whatever. So it's like we have to drive back, and I don't mind doing all that stuff by myself. But when you've got a car full of people that are no, let's just be honest. A car full of women. Right? Yeah, that's all I live with. I'm like, oh, dude, I don't want to hear about it. Like, so there's some peace in like traveling alone.
No, listen, I get it. I've done it a couple times by myself, gone back to funerals in Arkansas and Tennessee, things like that, where it's just me, and it's easier. It is.
So much easier.
Do what I want, when I want, eat where I want it, like whatever. But
like if I want to take a 20-minute poop in a gas station bathroom, no one's waiting for me.
But the difference is, We're not talking about places that are like Alaska. Like, dude, but I'll also say this, like, if anything else, you gotta at least take Jana with you. Remember how awesome it was when you guys went to Seattle? And you just loved the drive?
Yeah, like see that 4.5 hour drive would be really cool. And I'd hope I'd see a moose, maybe see a grizzly bear. Right?
You see so much freaking crap. There's no way you wouldn't, right?
So you would hope, right?
You'd have to.
Like, but it's like, I don't know, man. It's I think it's the end of July. It's like August. It's in the middle of the week too. It's like August 2nd.
That would be like the perfect. Oh, dude, you can go to the place where they launch the cars off. It's in Alaska, and it's over the 4th of July. Dude, you can do it. You'd be fulfilling our freaking dream, dude.
Watch them launch those cars off. I'd have to go live. We'd have to go remote live.
Oh, dude, if I wasn't going to be in Montana on that weekend, I would 100% say, all right, I'll meet you there, dude. But I'll be in Montana that weekend. But yeah, they do it on the 4th of July, man.
Oh, I don't know where. August 2nd, not July 2nd.
August.
Yeah, but either way, that's still funny though. Like I didn't even know that's where that was at. But.
Oh yeah, dude. I don't remember where in Alaska it is, but it's somewhere up there.
But I really want to do another show. I hate it, but I do. I just.
Well, it sounds like it's a 2026 thing.
Well, it's either that or like I kind of get into it going into Alaska, and there's a show in November. If I keep my body relatively in decent shape and not get myself go, which I haven't so much yet. Maybe I can do a 3-month prep and be done in 12 weeks, but 16 weeks, dude, it just sucks, bro. Fish and stuff sucks.
I have no desire to do it. I'm doing what you tell me to do for 3 months, right? That's, I don't know if I could ever do anything. I couldn't do anything more strict than what you got me doing.
Oh, it's way worse,
I do not want to cut you. I don't know if you got anything else to say.
No, I'm just thinking about all the crap I have. But that's why. So am I going to do a show? Probably not this year. Maybe next year. I don't know. But the shoulder surgery, as of right now, it's April 30th, which I got to cancel. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to do that just because of the summer leading up. Because I got to save 10, 15 grand this summer just to do. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't have a choice. Like, you can't just, and I'm not a credit card guy for nothing. Like, I mean, unless I have it where I can pay it off immediately. I'm not throwing that crap on a credit card and paying 7% interest for the rest of my life on it. So I'll just go figure out overtime and start stocking away cash. But it's either I do that so I think I'm going to push shoulder surgery to November and hopefully then take the holidays and stuff and just be at home or whatever. But I don't know.
Dude, I've never had a surgery and I'm so freaking grateful for that.
Yeah. Shoulder surgeries. It's just because it's the right arm. It's like, but like I can't, like I don't sleep through the night because if I lay on my left side or my right side, I can't move and it hurts. And then you learn to do everything left-handed. Everything.
Hey, you know what? That's a great place to say, don't breathe. Breed.
You messed it up. You said don't breathe. You said breathe.
I said breed.
Don't breed.
I said don't breathe.
Breed.
Yes. That's what I said. All right. Well, anyway. That. I gotta go pee.
The JJ and Pug Show theme song is written, composed, and performed by Lane Hartman. Thank you to Highland Communities for the support of our show. You can find the JJ and Pug Show on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and anywhere you listen to your podcast. Just Google us if you're confused. Remember to share the show with your friends and family. Subscribe wherever you listen. Buy a shirt, reach out to us, and place an order. Each shirt is $20, and if we can hand deliver it, we will, but if we have to ship it, it'll be $25. If you're able, feel free to support us by sending a donation to us by going to kfo.com/the JJ and Pug Show. That's ko-fi.com/the JJ and Pug Show. And thanks again to all who listen. We really appreciate your support for our show, and we hope to continue to grow.